Hello everyone and welcome back to Nate the Hoof Guy. Today's video, we're looking at a cow's left front foot. And there's a big gouge out of the side of it. I'm going to show you what we do with that, how we treat it to make her more comfortable. As we start this trim, you'll notice how much debris is packed into the bottom of a cow's foot. Now, a lot of people think, why are these feet so dirty? Why don't we keep them cleaner? If you look at the cow's legs, these cows are kept really clean. But when they go out on pasture and then come into the dry bedding, that stuff packs in there and gets hard as cement. That's pretty normal. If you look at this claw right here, you notice this outside wall is completely intact. Now look at this lateral claw. It's missing that outside wall, and if we look down the side, you can see there's a big chunk of that missing. That is what's causing the discomfort for this girl. So let's get started on it and try to trim it up and make her feel better. As I start to work with the grinder here, you might notice that other right front foot. Notice how she's not putting weight on that? A lot of people get concerned with that, but what you can't see right now is there's a strap up underneath her chest. I'm going to change the angle of the camera here in a minute, and you'll be able to see that strap. It's up underneath her chest, supporting her weight, so she's just there kind of resting on that sling. There's no weight on her feet right now, and that's how we can pick these feet up harmlessly. You can see that strap now up in that upper left-hand corner right above her hoof. Now what I'm doing here is I'm grinding on the side of this hoof. Normally, like I've talked about many times, I don't like to remove outside wall horn. But what's happened here is that toe has shed naturally, and it's actually begun to peel part of that outside wall with it when it came loose. Now what's happening is every time this rough edge comes in contact with the ground, it's trying to peel away at that outside wall. It's causing some discomfort for this cow. And so what we're going to do now is just trim away all these loose edges to prevent that from happening. So why all the concern with the outside wall? It's because that's how the weight is transferred to the sole of the foot. Unlike our feet, the weight is not transferred directly down through our tissues and through the sole. It's actually transferred via that outside wall, via laminar connections on the inside, from the pedal bone to that outside wall, and then to the sole. I'm going to put a block on this medial claw to take the weight off that lateral. Even though we don't see any openness to this claw, there's discomfort there, which means she can feel something on the inside that doesn't feel right. This block is simply for comfort to allow that to heal a little bit and firm up. While that glue cures, I'm going to go back and trim these back feet. That's what I do a lot of times, which I don't show on camera, is while that glue cures. It only takes a couple minutes, but that's just enough time for me to trim these other feet. You'll notice on this claw, that outside wall is loose here too. This cow is shedding naturally, and when that happens, sometimes we can get some extra horn removed that we don't want to. She'll actually shed naturally. It's quite likely how that gouge came out of that front foot. But notice when I trim these, I'm not going to trim them perfectly white, and that's not because I'm doing a sloppy job. It's because I want to create the maximum amount of sole depth that I can without compromising any comfort for that cow. If you notice the brown parts toward the middle of the foot, it's actually shed more than I want it to. So I'm not going to take the outside down that far, otherwise I'll create a thin sole situation. Notice how I'm being careful when I'm trimming this medial claw here to take away that outside wall. It's because if you're a hoof trimmer, you know what can happen. Get a little too aggressive with that grinder, and you'll actually throw a chunk of hoof off of that toe, and when that hits you, it's not a good feeling. Now that these back feet are trimmed up, we can head back to that left front, put her down, send her on her way. Here you can get a really good view of what that block is designed to do. It's just to elevate that claw ever so slightly off the ground to take the weight off of it. It's not enough to really affect the joints in her body or anything like that. It's just to take the pressure off. I really like the little white whiskers on this cow's face. Pretty cute. But she's done now, so we're going to send her on her way. And that is going to conclude today's video. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you all on the next one.